Shavua Tov. I'd like to share in English the Dvar Torah that I discussed in the Beit Knesset this past Shabbat. But first, I just wanted to note the passing of Harav Sinai Adler, Zecher Tzadik Livracha. He was a man whose face was the face of Torah. He was a tremendous Talmid Chacham. He was the Rav Rashi of the city of Ashdod. He was 92 years old, and he was a survivor, a man of tremendous faith who did the impossible, survived under conditions in which survival was impossible. And I remember every year he would make a meal of Thanksgiving on the Motzei Shabbat Parshat Bahar, which was the anniversary of his liberation, where he would tell about how his strength, his faith got strengthened in the camps and the experiences that he had. He is a great loss, and we send our condolences to his entire family. Tov, on Shabbat we talked about as the song goes, in the wee small hours of the morning, when there was a temple, they would prepare to bring the morning sacrifice, the Tamid Shel Shachar. And when would they bring this sacrifice? Well, they would have a Kohen whose job it was to look to the eastern sky. When he saw that it had lit up, he would say, the entire eastern sky has lit up. Another Kohen would then ask him, until Chevron? And he would answer, yes, until Chevron. Question is, what does Chevron have to do with the Beit HaMikdash? Why did they need to see that it was lit up until Chevron? It wasn't just to identify that it was light enough. The Sefer HaChinuch explains because it was giving honor to Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, who are buried in Me'arat HaMachpelah in Chevron. We still need to understand why we need to give respect to them in relation to the Korbanot. We don't have any other mitzvot that we give respect to Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. There's the custom of Ushpizin on Sukkot, but other than that, we don't really find a mitzvah where we specifically mention Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. So Brit Milah is also an exception to that rule. But other than that, why the Korbanot Davka? So it's possible that we can find a hint in the fact that we say, instead of Korbanot, because we don't have a Beit HaMikdash anymore, we say Tfilot. We have Tfilat Shacharit, we have Tfilat Mincha, and we also have Tfilat Ma'ariv. I'll talk more about Shacharit and Mincha. There is a discussion in the Gemara in Brachot, what is the source for these Tfilot? One opinion is that the Tfilot came from the sacrifices. There was the morning sacrifice and the afternoon sacrifice, the Tamid Shel Shachar, and the Tamid Shel Ben Harabayim. The other opinion is that it comes from the Avot, that Abraham is the one who gave us Shacharit, because it says, Vayashkem Abraham Baboker, he got up early in the morning. That Mincha came from Yitzchak. It says, Vayitze Yitzchak Lasuach Basadeh, he went into the field to meditate or to speak, to pray, Lifnot Arev, before the evening, so that's Tfilat Mincha, and Ma'ariv is Yaakov, who said his Tfilot at night. So since there are these two opinions, one is that it was the Avot, who were metakein, who established, is the traditional translation of the word, the tefillot of Shacharit, Mincha, and Ma'ariv. And the other opinion is that the Korbanot, so we see there's a connection between the Korbanot and the Avot, and perhaps the pshat is that the Avot not only established the tefillot, maybe they even established the Korbanot. How can you say that? It's a pasuk in the Torah, you have to bring the Korbanot. So how can you say that the Avot made it? No. Maybe the word tiknu doesn't mean established. Maybe it means fixed, like Lashon the Takein, which means, perhaps it means that the Avot gave us the kavanah, the thoughts, the ideology of each of the korbanot, what we're supposed to be thinking, what the meaning of these korbanot is. And the Korban Shel Shachar has a different message than the Korban Tamid Shel Ben Harabayim, just as Tfilat Shacharit should have a different message than Tfilat Mincha. Now, in the Beit HaMikdash, there were a lot of Kohanim, and there were only a limited number of sacrifices to be brought. So many of the Kohanim wanted to have a chance. They all wanted to have a chance to do the sacrifices, the different parts, whether it be the shchita, or the receiving the blood, or the sprinkling the blood, whatever the different avodot were. And so therefore they had a lottery. Every morning they would decide by lots which Kohen would have which job. Now, those lots were not just for the morning sacrifice, they also were for the afternoon. So whoever got the job in the morning would repeat the job in the afternoon. So they got two for the price of one, if you will. With the exception of the incense, which was also brought in the morning and the afternoon. For that, they did a separate lottery in the morning and in the afternoon. because the incense was especially sensitive. The Chazal teach us that whoever was meriting to be the one to bring the incense would become rich. It brought wealth as a reward. So therefore all the Kohanim really wanted this. So they would give away twice as many kibudim of the incense. They would lottery have a lottery for it in the morning and have a lottery for it in the afternoon, so twice as many Kohanim. In this manner, every Kohen would have at least one chance in their life to bring the Ketoret and then become as rich as Rothschild and make a nice donation to the congregation. At any rate, but for the other avodot, they would say, no, whoever got it in the morning got it in the afternoon as well. Now that makes sense according to the Rambam, who says that the morning offering and the afternoon offering were really part of the same mitzvah. Because we have a rule, hamatchil b'mitzvah omrim lo gemor. The one who starts doing a mitzvah, we say to them, finish what you started. The custom, for example, in the German Jewish congregation that I was a cantor in for many years, excuse me, was that the one who said shacharit, the one who said slichot, would also be the one who'd lead shacharit and lead mincha. And I think even on days when there wasn't slichot, they had the same thing. If you daven shacharit, you also daven mincha, because this rule, hamatchil b'mitzvah, the one who begins with the mitzvah, omrim lo gmor, we say to you, finish it, complete the mitzvah that you did. So it makes sense that the people who got the mitzvah of korban tamid shel shachar, we say to them, finish it and do the one in the afternoon. That makes sense according to the Rambam, who holds that it's all one mitzvah. But if you say it's two mitzvot, then why shouldn't you have a separate lottery in the afternoon? It's a different mitzvah. And the Ramban says it's two mitzvot. How do we know, says the Ramban? Because if it would be one mitzvah, then if you only do half of a mitzvah, you don't fulfill anything. But the rule is that if they didn't bring the korban tamid shel shachar for whatever reason, they still bring the korban tamid shel bein ha'arbaim. They still bring the afternoon one, and it's not, one is not me'akev. One does not prevent the fulfillment of the other. So we see that there are two separate mitzvot. And even according to the Rambam, we could say that there are two separate mitzvot, because this is a question that the Rambam would have to answer. How can you say it's one mitzvah if he leaves out half of it? He hasn't fulfilled anything. Why should he do the mincha, the afternoon one, if he didn't do the morning one, if it's one mitzvah? So the Rambam will say, no, you're right, it's one mitzvah, and it's performed completely in the morning, and then in the afternoon, that same mitzvah is performed another time. It's the same mitzvah done twice on the same day. So now, even according to the Rambam, we have a question. Why do you say hamatchil b'mitzvah omrim lo gemor? Why do we say that the one who does it in the morning should finish it in the afternoon if it's a separate mitzvah in the afternoon? So have a separate lottery in the afternoon. It's an entirely different fulfillment now. So why is the lottery not done a second time in the afternoon? Why is there a connection? I think one can answer based on the festivals. We have two New Years. We have Rosh Chodesh of Nisan and Pesach, which is Rosh Chodeshim, and we have Rosh Hashanah, which is the one we all know, where you blow the shofar at the beginning of Tishrei. Why two New Years? So we explained a number of years ago in Beit Knesset that there are different messages of each one. Pesach is beginnings. It's springtime. It's leaving the confinement of the winter. It's dreaming dreams, planning plans. We have the entire world open as a canvas to paint upon. But what happens is when you make a plan, you don't always fulfill the plan. And a plan that has not been fulfilled, a plan that hasn't been completed, isn't worth very much. And as the months go by, we sometimes get distracted, or we get lazy, or we change our minds, or we get confused, or whatever. And we come to the point when it's now autumn, and we say, wait a second, I had this great plan when the world was new in Pesach. Have I fulfilled it or not? Have I stayed on the path? And then we say, oh, well, we haven't. So then what do we do then? Teshuvah, repentance, which also means returning to the path. So that is the difference also between the morning and the afternoon. In the morning, we wake up, the whole world is becoming light, we can dream, we can plan a great day. Comes the afternoon, we ask ourselves the question, how are we doing? How are we doing? Are we fulfilling it? Are we still there? Or have we gotten confused, distracted, lazy? So Shacharit is about the planning and the dreaming. Mincha, or the Korban Tamid Shel Bein Ha'arbayim, is about the doing and the implementing and the fulfilling. And in some cases, correcting in order to fulfill. So therefore, there is a very important connection between those two. The Gemara says that we should be especially careful for Tfilat Mincha because Eliyahu Navi was only answered at Mincha. because mincha in a sense is more important than shacharit, because shacharit is making the plan, and certainly if you don't make a plan, you can never fulfill it. That's true. But a plan that is not fulfilled is hardly better than no plan at all. So mincha is really where it all comes true. So that's why mincha is the most important of the tefillot. Of course, we need to say all three, but make a special effort is what the rabbis are saying, to have kavana on mincha and connect it to shacharit, that mincha should be returning us to that path. And so therefore, it was probably very important that the same Kohen who brought the Korban Tamid Shel Shachar should do the Korban Tamid Shel Ben Arbaim. The same person who planned should make sure that they fulfill the plan. And this is the Avot. Avraham was the great beginner, the dreamer, the one who saw and the one who initiated. He came, he built altars, he brought people close to Torah, he fought wars, he created the template and brought God into the world. Yitzchak is the great preserver of the legacy of Avraham. Whatever Avraham did, Yitzchak did. When Avraham went and dug wells, Yitzchak went and redug the same wells. Avraham had to tell about his wife that she's his sister when there was a famine and he went to another place. Yitzchak did the same thing. We find that Yitzchak is living the life of Avraham a second time. No, he's preserving the legacy of Avraham and making sure that Abraham's plans stay on the track and become fulfilled. And therefore Yitzchak is the one who gave us mincha. We should all have the zechut to connect our mincha to our shacharit, to dream great dreams, plan great plans, and see them come true. Have a Shavua Tov.